Hello everyone, I am Cool Guy with Planet Destiny, and today I would like to go through my journey of a Trials card. We'll talk a little bit about the map and some of the map strategy that got us to the Lighthouse, as well as all the new loot that we got along the way. Now this is the first Trials of Rise of Iron, and the map is Last Exit. First and foremost, for us, Last Exit played fairly aggressive for us in Trials. We found that each side has some strengths and weaknesses, but quickly, we also found ways to attack them. And it all depends on the initial gunfights, how they play out, and depending on if it's inside or outside. As an example, for the first couple of games we spawned on the escalator side, and from this side you have access to the first room, and that's also where heavy ammo is. But my two teammates would go out left on the outside, get in initial shots, they avoided grenade spam, and I ran to that middle room looking outside through this door. Now each time in these early matches, they had no answer for that starting strategy. They tried to play the long game, which can work, but the initial grenade throws are very important for both teams. If they did not respect me where I was throwing skips with Shinobu's Vow, I could easily clean up kills from my teammates, and they could easily clean up kills from my grenade and my shots. For the first couple of games that we played on that side, they played out the same exact way. Our opponents didn't do anything different. We were able to pick and choose and get picks and then go. On the third game, we switched sides, and this is where my initial statement of saying that this map played kind of aggressive for us comes in. From seeing what we were able to do from the other side, I would rush up to that mid area, by that door, hug that side, and I would just grenade spam, throw it over onto that wall behind my opponents and start to pinch them with my teammates. We did this over and over and over. They didn't try to avoid the grenades, and once we got that first pick, it's go time for the rest of the enemies. Now, if they decided to go inside, I would just go around, flush them into that middle room, pinch them, and I would go in on the flank. But again, all of this was dictated by everyone deciding that, you know what, we're playing this map on the outside. Once we got about halfway, I got the Hunter's Lion Vigil mask. Now, even though it's new, I must say it's one of the sharpest looking hunter helms in the game. Single shaders like Walkabout will completely make the helmet one color, but the two-tone shaders are what are really cool. It puts different colors as the eyes, and I think that's just awesome. A couple games after, we ended up getting the weapon. Mine was the Fusion Rifle Stellar Vestige. Now this is a pretty cool one and a really good one for a couple of reasons. And at the end of the video, we'll go through the perks and an initial showcase of what this weapon has going on for it. The next game, I ended up getting the Trial Sparrow, and I've really enjoyed collecting these. I've liked that they decided to put it in all aspects of the game. It goes with my faction sparrows like Dead Orbit, Vanguard, Future War Cult. But towards the end of the card, we started to get some of the better teams. Now the game plans changed with that. Those guys didn't really play outside, and mostly they attacked from the middle hallway, but even then, I would stick to my initial starting strategy from wherever I was and play to what they were doing. Like on this side, I would just keep going around and going around. I told my team to stay alive, and I would do a flank. This map can play out a variety of ways, and sometimes you meet outside, sometimes you meet in the middle, but what is nice is whichever way your fire team decides to play, you can dictate how the map's going to play out for the rest of the match. But for us, getting to areas first and holding the position was key. Our final game was mostly centered around that middle hallway, going to the Lighthouse. Now, it was a great game, hats off to our opponents. There was a play in there that I'm pretty proud of, and I was considered kind of low light at 360. It was a 3v1, so I decided to pop my Blade Dancer.
It's up to you now. Heavy ammo available. Double kill. Yes! 3 down!
And after the final kill, we immediately went on to the Lighthouse. And opening that chest, we got the new emblem and a new ornament called the Flawless Vigil Ornament. Now this ornament can be added to the new Trials gear. It takes 2 ornaments and 5 silver dusts. Now it's not just an emblem anymore, guys. If you see someone decked out or a full fire team decked out in this new Trials gear with all the Flawless Vigil ornaments active on them, you know that they put in work and you're in trouble. From the chest, I also got the Lion's Vigil chest piece. Now it also takes the ornament. It looks pretty nice. But my weapon is the Exiles Student, the Adept version, and that goes along with my Stellar Vestige Fusion Rifle from earlier. Now here's an initial showcase of both of them and some first thoughts. The color scheme of gold and black on the Adept versions of the Trials weapons are gorgeous, and this thing is striking in your hands. Now the Adept versions also come with Snapshot. So first up is the Adept Exiles Student. At first glance, I've seen players dismiss this hand cannon and kind of get discouraged, and that's kind of for good reason, because from previous experiences, weapons like the Revelator and Kumakatak have been very underwhelming to say the least. The only weapon that's been consistent in this archetype is Thorn, and that's for good reason, damage over time, the Send It perk, but don't sleep on the Exiles Student. For the sights, smart drift control, Accurize ballistics, smooth ballistics. Now Accurize gives more impact, so the 77 damage turns into 79. It's an impact boost, kind of like the Thorn. The next column over is Hammer Forged or Braced Frame. Hammer Forged gives the boost to accuracy as well. Next column is Explosive Rounds and Extended Mag, and the last column is Hidden Hand or Firefly. So here's the deal with this weapon and my initial thoughts. Now I've tried it each way, and so far I'm liking the Accurized Hammer Forged Extended Mag Hidden Hand version. A close second is changing out Accurize for Smooth. That just gives a little bit boost to range. This hand cannon's worth giving a shot. I've been having really good games with it, but this hand cannon has some things that I was talking about in that Palindrome review. It has a couple moving parts to it that makes it different, and it puts it in a different tier in this archetype. It has an aim assistance of 94 and a recoil direction stat of 98. Now the aim assist is paired with Hidden Hand. It makes the weapon have 99 aim assist and 98 recoil direction, also adding the little bonus from Hammer Forge that gives you an accuracy boost. Shots have been very reliable for me initially. I've won gunfights against all the popular weapons in the game. This one stands out. Accurize for the damage boost, Hammer Forged for range and accuracy, 99 aim assist with Hidden Hand, and an easy-going 98 recoil direction. I've seen players get discouraged when they get this weapon, and time's gonna tell, but if you do get this, I encourage you to try it. You might just like it. The feel of this weapon is off the charts. Next up for the final part of the showcase is the stellar Vestige Fusion Rifle, and it's special. Let's go ahead and compare it to the Plan C. And of course the Plan C has the Plan C Exotic perk, which is nice, but for a legendary, this one's pretty solid. This fusion does 47 per projectile, but can do 48 with linear or Accurized ballistics equipped, just how the Plan C can do 48 per projectile with Field Choke. Now in the first node, the perks are Perfect Balance or Reinforced Barrel. Next node over is Snapshot or Accelerated Coils. And the final node is Hot Swap or Rangefinder. You can go a lot of different ways with this, and I equip mine for range, and that includes Rangefinder. Watch out for this fusion. It has everything going for it, guys. You might just start seeing it catch some traction. But if you saw the sight, it's just like a lot of the new Trials weapons. It highlights enemies. And it can go through the Night Stalker's Smoke Grenade, which is very cool. This thing is a monster. It's been very consistent for me. It has some really good range, and I like to lead with my fusion rifle, and by that I mean at a good distance, at a very kind of unreasonable distance. I kind of use it like a grenade. I will send a projectile burst towards my opponent, see what kind of damage I can do, and then finish them off with my primary weapon. Initial thoughts are that it is consistent. It's got a very fast projectile stream with its range. It's all around really, really good so far. Both of these weapons have been working surprisingly well together, and I'm having a great time in Trials, and hopefully you guys are too. Let us know in the comments what you think of these two weapons specifically, as well as some of the other new Trials gear that you've gotten. How are you liking them? We would love to hear your thoughts and your insights. There's a link in the description to my channel if you'd like to stop by and say hi. I am Cool Guy with Planet Destiny. It's your guide to the Destiny universe, and we will see you out there, Guardians.